Hi everyone, and welcome back to Stamp with Anna. And today I'm going to make this thank you card with you. I'm using this as one of my customer thank you cards. As I've mentioned, instead of designing one card and mass producing them for all of my customers, I decided that I was going to make each one of them a personal, an individual card based on the products that they ordered, some of the products that they ordered. If I don't have what they order, I use a comparable item. But it is taking me a lot longer to get my thank you cards out, but I think it's worth it because the cards are all very individualized for my customers. And this one here, my customer, among the things she bought was this Flirty Flamingo cardstock and the Stitched Shapes framelits. Now the Stitched Shapes framelits are retiring May 3rd, so those are only available until then or while supplies last. So, and that is one of my go-to die sets, and they're very popular and they're just so versatile. So I would suggest, if those are something that's on your wish list, that you hop on over and try to pick that up as soon as you can. So let me show you how I made this card. The card base, as I said, is Flirty Flamingo, and this one here that I made opens booklet style. It is 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. This time I'm going to make it easel style. 4 1/4 by 11 scored at 5.5. And then I have a piece of basic black, which is 3 3/8 by 4 5/8. And while I'm here, I might as well just attach that if I can find my, oh, there it is. I'm going to attach that using my snail because I can't find my Stamp and Seal. And I'm going to drop that right in the middle. And this is a nice large border. Then I have a piece of basic white, which is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And I'm going to drop that on top of the black. And this is a smaller border. Okay, there's that. Now these beautiful poppies were made using the Poppy Moments dies. And these are a great little die set. These are carrying over, so you don't have to hurry to get these. You have a background for a large poppy, and you also have the detailed one. And then you have the background for a small poppy and the detailed one. That's the one that I'm using today. And then you have a background leaf and a detailed leaf. And I'm also using that. And the last thing I'm using is this one here, which is the center of the poppy. And then you can see you still have all of these other dies. So it's a great little set. And like I said, it's not being retired. So I've already done all of my die cutting, and I've even attached some of the pieces because I didn't want to take too long to show you how to do all three of them. So here are the 2 leaves and the 2 poppies that have already been put together. So now I'm going to put these 2 together with you, and I'm going to use my silicone pad and my glue pen. And here's my poppy, right side up, and here is my outline of my poppy. And for this one, I'm gonna pop that piece out right there. I'm going to take my glue pen and I'm going to apply some glue all along the edges. And this is why I love my silicone pad for silicone mat when I'm doing things like this, because if any of this glue gets on my mat, which inevitably it does, when it dries, I can just wipe it right off. So I'm going to attach that there and press it down. And then I'm going to attach the center of my poppy. Now turn that over. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive. And then I'm going to just line it right up in the center there. Okay, so now my 3 poppies are done. Now I'm going to show you how I did the leaf. Here's my leaf, the background of my leaf, and that is, for these I used, obviously, for this here is Poppy Parade in Basic Black and Daffodil Delight. And for the leaves, I used Old Olive and Pierre Pizzazz, I believe. Yes, Old Olive here and Pierre Pizzazz in the background. So I'm going to turn this leaf over, and I'm going to do the same thing. Attach a little bit of adhesive. And line that up. Give it a press, and there is my leaf. Now let me show you what I was talking about. See here, this is adhesive that's dry. I just have to rub my finger over it, and it comes right off, and it keeps my work surface from becoming a mess. I just have to put my poppies on, and before I do that, I'm just going to dry fit them. So I have one there and one there, and this one here I'm going to raise with some Stampin' Dimensionals. And then I have my 3 leaves. I do everything in 3s. So I'm going to tuck one in here, and I do want it to come off of my white card base, but not off of, I mean my card front, but not off of my white card base. And one about here, and one about here. So now that I have my general setup, I'm going to remove my poppies and leave my leaves pretty much where they are. And I'm going to attach them with my adhesive. And again, I want it to come over my card front, but not past my card base. I'm going to do the same with this one. Again, over my card front, but not my card base. And the last one here. And the same thing, it's over my card, past my card front, but not my card base. And I'm going to attach my poppies. And this one up in this corner is going down first. I'm going to put it right over there. And this one over here is going to come over this one here. Right there. And this last one is going to get some dimensionals on it. Now, I just finished up some dimensionals, a package of dimensionals, and I have all of my edges left. So, again, here's another little money-saving tip. I am going to use my snips, and I'm just going to cut some edges off and use that as my dimensional. Never, never, never throw those pieces out. Lots of dimensionals to be had there. And I'm going to put this right here. And now those are all set. The last thing I have to do is, on the front, is my tag here. Inside of my card, I have a piece of basic white, and it's cut 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to stamp with Poppy Parade, and I'm using the Peaceful Moments stamp set. And I'm going to use this thank you and this you shouldn't have, but I'm glad you did. And it comes from the Peaceful Moments stamp set, which coordinates with those poppy dies. And these are both, the dies and the stamp set are both carrying over. So I'm going to ink up my stamp that says you shouldn't have, but I'm glad you did. And I'm going to ink it up in Poppy Parade, and I'm going to go straight down and straight up. I'm going to put that aside for a second. Now I have, like I said, this customer ordered the stitched shapes dies. And the stitched shape dies are retiring. These are a staple in my collection. You get 12 dies. There are 4 nesting stitched ovals, 4 nesting stitched circles, and 4 nesting stitched squares. I used the ovals. I used the second one up, I believe. Yep, the second one up, and I cut out a white oval and a black oval. And I'm going to show you. Here's the black one, and I'm going to attach that on my card, front of my card. And again, like I did down here, I'm going to have it go off the card front, but not sticking off the card base. And so there's that. Now, I cut one out in white as well. That obviously is the same size, right? So you're not going to be able to see it. So after I stamp it, and I'm going to stamp it with the sentiment that says thank you, straight down, straight up. So now I'm going to take my snips, and I'm just going to fussy cut all around this, and I'm going to keep the stitching visible. Now, I learned from the occupational therapists where I work that when you're cutting, when you're fussy cutting, you should move your paper and not your scissors, and that's how you get a nice smooth line. And I'm not a real big fussy cutter. I avoid it as much as I possibly can. I'm just going to smooth that out where I think it needs it. And now I'm going to attach that I'm just going to attach that right onto my tag. And I've made my, my layer. Now I have a little bow that I made from some discontinued Flirty Flamingo ribbon. And I'm just going to trim the edges, the tails I should say. And then using a glue dot, I'm going to just put that right here on the bottom of my bow, bottom of my tag. I'm going to bring in my inside piece that we've already stamped. And I'm going to drop that right in the center of my card. And voila, it's done. If you have any questions at all about this project or any of the products I've used, certainly contact me through my blog, www.stampwithana.blogspot.com. And if you do not have a demonstrator with whom you work and you would like a copy of the new annual catalog, certainly let me know and I'll be glad to get one out to you. While you're here on my YouTube channel, I'd love it if you enjoyed this video, if you would give it a thumbs up, and if you would subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much. I'll catch you later.